I'd like to share with you what I view as the 3 characteristics of our program that I think make us distinctively different. I'll cover 2 at a high level and then go into more depth on the 3rd. First is a business-based operating model adapted from founder and board chair Steve Rothschild's many years as a senior leader of a highly successful for-profit enterprise, General Mills. This model combines what Steve calls the brains of a well-run company and the heart of a nonprofit. And if I can make a shameless plug, Steve has a new book that we'll be selling at the end of this event. It's called The Non-Nonprofit. The book's tagline is For-Profit Thinking for Nonprofit Success. I highly recommend it. Another unique characteristic is our pay-for-performance funding model. This is the model we currently use with the state of Minnesota and with one other major foundation funder, by which we get funded only if we succeed, holding us accountable to achieve our job placement and job retention objectives. If we succeed, we get funded. If we fail, we get no funding. This funding model was recognized last year by Ashoka International. From amongst 800 applicants in a global competition, we were chosen as one of the top 5 nonprofit innovations in the world. The business model, the funding model are wonderful assets, but there's something even more important to a graduate's success. Actually, Senator Klobuchar referred to it without actually naming it. She used terms like helping people stand on their own 2 feet and developing key habits for professional success and empowering people to be self-sufficient. She was referring to the impact of our personal empowerment program. Because it is so important to our ability to achieve those great outcomes that she cited, and also because it is well known but not really well understood, I'm going to describe it in more depth today. We learned as an organization early on that hard skills training works in helping participants get a job, but they were not sufficient and are not sufficient to ensure success on the job. This phenomenon stems from what Pulitzer Prize-winning author David Shipler, in his seminal book on poverty, The Working Poor, Invisible in America, calls the emotional skill gap. We learned this lesson from experience when we observed low job retention rates and high program dropout rates early on. We came to understand that our participants were coming into the program with damaged belief systems and low emotional skills. Many felt powerless, without hope. They lacked resilience, emotional regulation skills, and suffered from low self-esteem. Recognizing the implications of this, our personal empowerment program was developed in conjunction with a clinical psychologist named Stephen Stosny. It was a strong complement to our hard skills training, and it revolutionized our program. It took our relationships with employer partners to a whole new level. Personal empowerment comes in 5 building block phases and is taught in a rigorous curriculum that takes several months to complete. It starts with self-awareness. This starts on day 1. We explore issues such as, what are those emotional triggers that set me off, and why? How can I be more intentional in seeking relationships that positively affect me and in letting go of abusive, codependent, or otherwise destructive relationships? Relationships that bring me down, hold me back, reinforce a pattern of failure. Emotional regulation skills come next. Once I know what my emotional triggers are, why I have them, and I recognize when someone is pushing my buttons, how do I control my response? How do I change the way I think? How do I avoid impulsive and angry reactions? This, we find, is an extremely important skill for our participants. We practice it over and over and over the course of many months. Next is self-esteem. We teach that positive self-esteem is a choice. Sustaining positive self-esteem, particularly in the face of negativity, is a skill. That is called resilience. We all must decide, when we're not feeling too good about ourselves, that we are worthwhile. Our participants learned that they, like all human beings, and as Michelle said, are lovable, important, and valuable. And this is the language that we use. It is our mantra, and this is our belief. When our participants start the program, they feel anything but lovable, important, and valuable. What they learn is that being lovable, important, and valuable is the core value that we all share. It doesn't matter what our personal circumstances are, economic status, educational attainment, or personal history. When our participants feel down, defeated, frustrated, it's our job to reconnect them to their core value. Our participants learn that we all make mistakes. We all make bad decisions. We all experience failure, rejection, deep disappointment. But if something bad happens to you, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Once they truly believe that they have core value and that no one can take that away from them, it affirms their self-esteem. They gain a sense of control, a sense of personal accountability. They learn that they can be proactive and respond positively, even in adverse circumstances. This learning is, in a word, empowering. Empathy follows naturally from our core value beliefs. Once I believe in my own self-worth, it's a natural extension to believe that every human being has the same core value. I develop empathy, a willingness to try and see the world through other people's eyes. I adopt a more respectful attitude towards others. And then the fifth of our 5 building blocks are relationship skills. With the knowledge and skills I've gained at this point, I am now much better prepared to develop and sustain healthy relationships. I will function better at work, I'll be a better team member, I'll take feedback, and I will deal with on-the-job conflict constructively. I'll behave in my own positive self-interest while also being respectful of others. As we hear, too, from many of our graduates, I'll also be a better husband or wife and a better role model for my children. These are the 5 building blocks of personal empowerment, learned over many months of intense training. But this isn't the end of the story. To reinforce these lessons, every participant is assigned to a personal coach when they enter the program. And they meet their coach once a week for as long as they're in the program and up to 2 years after they get placed on the job. Coaches are full-time Twin Cities Rise staff. Many of them are Twin Cities Rise graduates. They reinforce the lessons of personal empowerment, and they hold our participants accountable. At Twin Cities Rise, we also create what I call an empowered culture. All employees, even Michelle and me, take personal empowerment. In staff meetings, we do personal empowerment exercises. We use empowerment language, and we try to model empowerment behavior for all of our participants. We really believe in this program. And as a staff, our belief and willingness to live by these values is ultimately the most persuasive factor, the single most persuasive factor in helping our participants to change over time. When we put all of this together with an excellent hard skills training program, here's what we get. A strong program model, a strong learning culture, a high level of accountability, a focus on outcomes, and a path to success for those that we serve. When our graduates succeed, they not only succeed on the job, but they succeed in other important relationships in their lives as well. That's our personal empowerment program, and that's the impact that it has. So how do we know that it works? I'll share 3 ways. First of all, our employer customers tell us that it works. Feedback from them has been consistent over the years. Our graduates' personal empowerment skills are the most important skills to their achieving sustainable success at work. Second, our participants tell us. We get continuous feedback through coaching sessions and classes. And every 10 weeks, we have a participant celebration event where 40 to 50 current students take an open microphone and tell us exactly what's on their minds. These are great experiences. What we hear is often raw, it's often emotional, and is always helpful to us in gaining insights about how to serve the people that we serve even better. And finally, we look to our outcomes. We are, after all, a data-driven organization. Consistent with our operating principles, we are intentional about defining success, measuring outcomes, and holding ourselves to high performance standards. In 2011, despite a weak economy, we had at 74% our highest success rate ever. Success at Twin Cities Rise also leads to a sharp reduction in recidivism amongst ex-offenders that we serve. These and other metrics that Senator Klobuchar summarized are our outcomes. We are proud of these accomplishments, and we attribute much of this success to our personal empowerment program. Other program highlights. I mentioned the Ashoka Award earlier. Twin Cities Rise was also recently recognized by Minnesota Business Magazine as one of the top 100 companies to work for in the state. Within this group of 100, we are one of 6 nonprofit organizations that was recognized. And in late-breaking news, and we just got this word on Friday afternoon, Minnesota's Department of Employment and Economic Development announced the outcome of its first ever competitive RFP process for funding workforce programs. Of the 45 organizations who applied, Twin Cities Rise was one of 5 statewide to be placed in the top-tier group, and we will receive the maximum $300,000 grant funding award that DEED has offered. Thank you again, all of you, for coming here, for supporting Twin Cities Rise, and for helping us to make a difference in this community. Thank you.